I would like to call to order the special meeting of the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. The time is now 4:30. And the first order of business is seeing if there are any comments from our board members. Commissioner Schoaf.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you to the CRA and staff and city staff for their support on the Storm of 28 91st anniversary celebration. That was on Saturday, and thank you to my fellow commissioners for coming to celebrate and honor that event. So very successful. The committee was very excited, and I appreciate that. Coming up on this Saturday will be the rescheduled Pleasant City Family Reunion. Again, thank you for the support from the CRA in making this event a success from 1 to 7 at the Housing Authority property in Pleasant City, around about 19th Street. So please join us out there. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments from board members? Okay, hearing none. We do have a couple of items on consent. Actually, we may only have... So only one item on consent, if I read this right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Resolution number 1939, authorizing a 60-day extension of the interlocal agreement between the West Palm Beach Downtown Development Authority, the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, and the City of West Palm Beach. I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
A second? Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 3, resolution number 1942, adopting amendment number 14 to the Downtown City Center CRA Strategic Finance Plan. Mr. Ward?
Mayor, Commissioners,
Oh, okay.
Ms. Justice will do this, and as we normally do, you'll recall that our budget process contains two components. As you know, we do a 5-year forward-looking budget in which we try and project those items that are constant items like bond payments and those sorts of things on a 5-year basis. And of course, as projects present themselves, it will cause that 5-year plan to vary from one year to the next. So the first series of things that we'll show you are the 5-year plans, and then we really get down to the meat of the matter, and that's the individual budget for the coming 2020, and that'll be the second part of your component. So there are 4 items before you today. 2 of them will be the 5-year budget for each of our districts, and then the second 2 items will be the next year's budget for each, again, of the 2 districts. So, Ms. Justice?
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. Allison Justice, Deputy Director, CRA. I actually do not, as part of your package, you do have a copy of the 5-year plan. I will pull up just a kind of an image of what this will be. So this 5-year plan will be on the website, on the CRA's website. It consists of text that talks about our goals and our plans. It's really a summary of what the CRA plan is, and we update it every year, but we do have some constant items that remain from year to year in this plan. So what we're approving, as Mr. Ward said today, is the plan itself, and then I'm going to walk through the actual budget for this year for downtown and Northwood Village, and the other 2 items are the budget for this year. So if the board does not mind, I'm going to do both presentations, and then we can do all of the resolutions at once, if you don't mind.
Any objection, board members? Okay, that's fine.
Okay, for the Downtown City Center CRA, I went through this presentation in a workshop a couple of weeks ago. Really has not changed. We update our numbers. We continue to get updated carry-forward numbers, but as far as the projects go, hasn't really changed. Our tax increment for the downtown area is $38.1 million, a 10.5% increase for this year. We do have a carry-forward balance of approximately $25 million, and again, that will continue to amend as we move forward in the budget's input. So for this year, along with the bond, we have a total estimated sources of $118 million, and again, that includes the $77.9 million bond as well. For the uses, again, we have the same sources, same uses. Our debt service for the updated bonds, 2019 bonds that were just issued, as well as some 2006 bonds that we had issued, is $11.6 million per year. We have personnel cost, what goes to the city, goes to the police department. Your tax increment split would be for our city place agreement and other agreements that we have in place to give back tax increment. And then, of course, we also have the DDA work plan, which Mr. Clemente went over the DDA work plan, which includes their 1 mil that they levy and the 1 mil that they get from the CRA, and the waterfront events and operations, which again, Mary Pennick had described what happens with the waterfront events and events and the maintenance as well. So that leaves total target area initiatives of $41.7 million, and I'll just show you with each district how that breaks down. We have the Northwest Target Area. Again, we have multiple projects that have been multi-year projects, including the Sunset Lounge, Heart and Soul Park, the 7th Street Streetscape and Alleys. We have some work on the Mickens Moore properties that were donated to this agency. A future restaurant at 719 Sapadilla. We have the Tamarind Avenue Streetscape, and that'll be coming back before this board and the commission soon. We also have, obviously, the single-family infill homes, business incentives, and the NCAT, which is the job training program. So those are our major initiatives in the Northwest Target Area. We do, as was mentioned, have some a potential affordable housing project coming forward. That'll come before this board again, which is not anticipated in this budget, but would be for next year's budget. The total uses in the historic Northwest, proposed uses is $25.1 million. So again, this is a little over 50%, I guess it's about 60% of our overall target area initiatives in this area, mainly consisting of the major projects, obviously, are the Sunset Lounge that this board has seen, the alleyway project at Tamarind Streetscape, among other things. But again, the major project is the Sunset Lounge in the historic Northwest. The proposed bond projects in the Northwest equal about $10.4 million. Again, this will potentially fluctuate with the addition of the Tamarind Streetscape, but that will come before this board if there's any changes on that before that happens. For the Clear Lake Target Area, again, we have some proposed projects out of the bond, which is Tamarind Avenue from Okeechobee to Banyan. As part of the mobility study, there were some improvements along Tamarind that were proposed in that. And for Brailsford Park, we have some land acquisition as part of potentially the Palm Beach Lakes Bridge expansion. That's a to be determined. There's nothing that's happened on that yet, but that is just a placeholder for that, as well as some incentives in that area as well. Downtown core, a total of $8.6 million. The major project in the downtown would be the 314 Clematis. As I mentioned before, we have purchased the building. We did close on that structure. So we're going to be coming forward to this board with any improvements that we are looking to make. So we don't know the overall cost. Each time something cost comes, we will come before this board. And in fact, we have an item coming potentially forward on the 7th that we'll meet about. But we're starting to move on that project now that we own it, and we want to start moving forward. So. Downtown core, some of the bond programs, Iverny and Datura, Clematis is the streetscape purchase. We've already closed on 314, and we have some funding for Rosemary. Again, there's potential for this to fluctuate some, but that is currently what is in our budget. As the DDA target area, again, this is the DDA's work plan. They do have their interlocal funding with us. They also have some specific project funding, which the CRA contributes to, which is some of the physical enhancements, pressure cleaning, et cetera, that we fund above and beyond that 1 mil. And other target area, these spread through the different target areas, so which is why it is in its own category. Trolley expansion, we do have 2 new trolleys coming. at the end of October. The commission will get some presentations on parking and mobility here in the next couple months, I guess. So we will need to add those trolleys to the route, and that is considered in the future trolley expansion. And obviously, there's operations costs that are going to be involved with that expansion. And then the Banyan Streetscape Program. And Banyan, again, will be coming to this board the next Mayor Commission work session. They'll be presenting the Banyan project as well. So that is moving forward. That is my presentation for downtown. I can answer questions on downtown, and then I'll go to the Northwood if you'd like.
Let me see if there are any questions on downtown. Commissioners, board members? Okay, proceed.
Okay, for the Northwood Pleasant City CRA, just so this board knows, this was approved by the CRA Advisory Board just last Friday. We presented the final presentation to them as well, and this was approved.
Unanimous?
Unanimously, yes. So for the Northwood Pleasant City CRA, we do have a tax increment of $4.2 million. We did have a 6.8% increase over 2019. Total sources of $8.3 million, and again, the same uses. Our debt service in the Northwood Pleasant City CRA is $1.7 million, and our target area initiatives is $5.4 million that we have for projects. I had given this just for the boards to kind of see what this bond was used for. We do pay about $1.8 million annually on this bond payment. It was used for infrastructure streetscape projects back in 2005. It was refinanced in 2015, and it matures in 2035. For Pleasant City, we are working on looking at Blum Park. We have some parcels around that area that we're negotiating on as we speak, and we're also looking at doing some planning for that area. We're working with the Housing Authority and with HCD on that. So that is our major initiative in 2020 for Pleasant City. For the Currie corridor, as you all know, the Currie Park redesign, we do have about $3 million budgeted for the design. We do not know what that looks like. We don't know how much that's going to end up costing. So there is possible that some of that funding will be reallocated, but it depends on the wishes of this board as they move forward with the redesign of the park. For Northwood Village, obviously we fund quite a bit in marketing initiatives in the village, as well as security. You can see marketing and security are our two largest line items in Northwood Village, along with incentives. Sarah Blake, in probably November, will have a potential new incentive program that we're considering for Northwood Village. So she'll bring in front of this board to present that to you all. Industrial Park Target Area, again, we support events like the Storm of 28 Memorial. Also, we have a open house studios with some of the artists, some incentives, and we're potentially looking at, again, some strategic acquisition in the Industrial Target Area as well. And for Broadway, we do hope that this board and the planning department hopes that we will begin to rewrite the BMUD regulations. This has been in the works and been planned for a while. We have been holding off for the state's approval for a lane elimination on Broadway. We do believe that they're moving really towards that. So we're gonna, again, just stay tuned. We've got some presentations coming up and some community meetings on that coming up within the next month or two. So. And other target area, again, this is mainly our landscape maintenance. We have landscape maintenance that takes place in all three areas, namely in Northwood Village for Northwood Road and the other areas of Northwood Village, and also along Spruce and Pleasant City. And if you have any questions on Northwood?
Commissioner Shove?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your presentation. I know we talked about this before, but I think it's even more important as we're looking at B-MUD regulations and where that lane expansion is slated to stop, which is 45th Street. I've requested before and hope we can continue to look into segmenting Broadway into North Broadway and South Broadway. And again, I think that's continually important as we look at the lane elimination stopping at 45th Street as well, to look and see what is north of 45th Street along Broadway and really divide that corridor to make sure that, if there's a complete new streetscape on South Broadway, that North Broadway is getting just as much attention. And I think a good way to do that is to, at least for our internal purposes, if it can't be segmented officially, segment those so that we can really focus our spend accordingly.
Yes.
Any other comments from board members? Okay. Is that in your presentation?
That is my presentation.
All right, I will entertain a motion on item 3.
Mayor, if I could, the presentation that staff just showed you was for the annual budgets, and I think she showed you numbers 5 and 6 for the specific districts. So you may want to, you may.
So we're going to go to 5 and 6 and then come back to 3 and 4?
I think if you want to see the 5-year presentation, we can come back to 3 and 4. She just showed you 5 and 6 for the annuals
Okay.
per district.
Well, I will entertain a motion. Well, let me read number 5 then, since I thought we were on 3. Resolution number 19-45F.
Do them all at one time.
What? We all right?
I was responding.
Okay, 1945F, adopting the final estimates of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year commencing on October 1st, 2019, and ending on September 30th, 2020 for the Downtown City Center District of the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution number 19-45F.
Second.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 6, resolution number 19-44F, adopting the final estimates of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year commencing on October 1st, 2019, and ending on September 30th, 2020 for the Northwood Pleasant City District of the West Palm Beach Community Redevelopment Agency.
Mayor, move to approve Resolution 19-44F.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Now, back to item 3 and 4, I guess.
So item 3 is what I showed, I guess, at the start, which is the amendment number 14 to the strategic finance plan. So there's no additional presentation,
Okay,
but
all right,
on
very
that.
good.
Mayor, we've, of course, as the board knows, we previously reviewed this with you, and there have been no changes since the first presentation.
All right, very good. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve resolution number 19-42.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None, motion carries unanimously. Okay, on to item 4, resolution number 19-43, adopting amendment number 15 to the Northwood Pleasant City CRA Strategic Finance Plan.
Mayor, move to approve Resolution number 19-43.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? No opposition. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And this meeting is adjourned, and we will reconvene at 5 p.m. for the City Commission meeting.